Have you ever felt like all was lost? Like the night wouldn't end and morning might never come? Maybe you've prayed, wept, waited, and still nothing changed. And in those moments, when everything inside you feels empty, a question whispers through the silence. Where is God now? But what if I told you that's the exact moment He is closest? Don't lose hope, said C.S. Lewis. You never know what the Lord is going to do next. Daniel had once been full of dreams, a degree, a job, a future that seemed certain. But within a year, life unraveled. Laid off, his mother diagnosed with cancer, his savings gone. Prayer after prayer, he called out to God. Silence. Days blurred into nights. Depression crept in like fog. And one night, sitting in his car, alone, Daniel whispered, Lord, if you're there, do something, anything. That night, in desperation, he opened the Bible. The pages fell to Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Daniel scoffed. How can this be good? But something kept tugging at him. A quiet voice, not loud, not dramatic, but steady. Don't give up. Don't lose hope. The desert is not the end. In the Bible, the wilderness was always a place of preparation. Moses wandered for 40 years. Elijah hid by the brook. Jesus fasted 40 days. Why? Because the wilderness is where God trains the heart to trust Him, not the outcome. Daniel began to pray again, not for answers, but for strength. He joined a small group at a local church. One night, an older man shared, I lost everything once too, but that's where I saw God's power show up. Not when I had control, but when I had nothing left but Him. Daniel wept. Could it be? Could God still move in this mess? Slowly, things changed. Not dramatically, not all at once, but Daniel found peace. He wasn't just surviving anymore. He was beginning to live. He helped others who were struggling. He shared his story, and in giving, he found purpose again. Then one day, a job offer from someone at church who had seen his faith, not his resume. It wasn't the job he had planned for, but it was more than a job. It was a mission, working with troubled youth, many like he had once been. And then, one night, a boy broke down in tears, angry, lost, hopeless, just like Daniel had been. Daniel sat beside him and said, I don't have all the answers, but I've been where you are. And I can tell you this, God isn't done with you yet. That moment, that was God's power. Not in thunder or lightning, but in compassion, in a testimony, in a second chance. Sometimes we think God is late, but Isaiah 55 verse 9 reminds us, as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Daniel didn't get what he wanted. He got what he needed. He didn't become rich, but he became full of faith. And in the process, he became someone else's answer to prayer. That is redemption. That is hope. God's power rarely shows up the way we expect. It shows up in a phone call, in a stranger's kindness, in peace when you shouldn't have any. Paul said in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Weakness doesn't disqualify you. It qualifies you for a miracle. Just when you think it's over, that's when he begins. Maybe you're still waiting, still wondering if God hears you. Don't lose hope. You never know what the Lord is going to do next. In the blink of an eye, he can turn mourning into dancing. He can part your Red Sea. He can resurrect what you thought was dead. But even while you wait, he is working. He's not done. Not with you. Not today. Hope is not wishing. Hope is anchored in the faithfulness of God. Hebrews 10:23 says, "Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for he who promised is faithful." You may not see it yet, but what God is preparing is far beyond what you can imagine. So stand firm, keep praying, keep trusting, and remember what C.S. Lewis said, "Don't lose hope. You never know what the Lord is going to do next."